I've been using the AirPods 3 for over a month now, so today I'm going to talk about everything that I discovered along with why I stopped using my AirPods Pro and instead started using the AirPods 3. Who would have thought that when Apple had courage to remove the headphone jack in 2016 and right away gave us a solution to the problem they created, that AirPods would become a massive company ranking in the top 30, beating out both Nvidia and AMD's revenue combined and almost reaching Tesla's in 2020. People hated the idea of spending $159 for wireless earbuds, but here we are years later, and that price seems like a bargain with the new AirPods 3 coming in at $180, not far off from what you can buy AirPods Pro for. This made it a really hard sell when we first tested them, but thankfully a month later you can now pick them up for $150, which we'll link to down in the description. So after all of my testing, are the AirPods 3 actually worth spending $150 on? Let's talk about comfort. These things are extremely comfortable, even for somebody like me that doesn't have any issues with the AirPods Pro. I know some people do, some people just don't like that seal design, and some people simply can't use them, which is why the AirPods Original have been still very popular. Now, compared to those AirPods, these do have a larger design. I feel like they fit more snugly into my ears, but they're not uncomfortable for me. For a select few people, they might be a little bit too large, but in general, these things fit very nicely. They do not move, and I think it is a much upgraded design. And because they don't seal into your ear, you get none of that plugged feeling, which is very, very minimal on the Pros because of the vent that it has. But for this, you just simply don't need it, and you don't have to use the ambient mode or any software to be able to hear your environment. Everything just leaks in. Now, there are two things that most people don't talk about when they're reviewing the AirPods 3 that are exclusive to these new AirPods. The first one is a skin sensor that replaces the optical sensor, and this is great because if you ever throw your AirPods into your pocket, they won't automatically turn on like the previous AirPods. And the next one is the precision finding in the app. People lose AirPods all the time, and with this feature, it can actually guide you to your AirPods just like if it had an AirTag, even if they're in their case, which makes it a lot more difficult to lose them compared to AirPods Pro. Now, as far as battery life, these are also incredible and a really big step up from the AirPods 2. I was getting about 7 hours with just the buds themselves, and I thought that was a little bit too high, but I started doing some research online, and that is what people are getting consistently. So that's about a 50% boost compared to the AirPods 2. And then with the case, that adds an additional 4 full charges, and that gives you roughly 35 hours of battery life, which is amazing compared to most of their competitors. Now, probably the biggest issue with the AirPods 3 is the sound leakage. These things get quite loud, and the open design leaks a ton of sound. I was sitting in the room and I had them up like maybe 2/3 of the way, and Vadim, 2 computer stations down, could clearly hear all my music. So if that's something that matters to you, definitely take note. That is something that is greatly minimized with the Pros or other earbuds. So if you're gonna turn these up and you're in a quiet room, everybody's gonna hear what you're listening to. And that open design without anything that actually goes into your ear canal is probably one of the biggest selling points, and most of the competitors, they don't offer that. Almost everybody makes earbuds that seal with a silicone tip. So Apple is making sure that they're still making this design for the people that love it, and overall, I gotta say that I could wear these for about 2 hours longer than I can with the AirPods Pro, and that is a big deal. Now, as far as sound quality, these things sound really good. I love Apple's new sound signature and what they have done. It doesn't have as low bass as the AirPod Pros because it's not a sealed design, but for mid bass, they actually play about 3 decibels louder, which is twice as loud, while the mid-range is a little bit toned down, and then on the high end, the treble is also quite a bit louder, and the ultra-highs are toned down once again, which gives it a more natural sound. And after over a month of use, I have to say that these are my favorite AirPods in terms of sound quality. Apple's new drivers sound fantastic, and I really hope they release Pros that use the same technology because the sound makes me pick these up and use them instead of the AirPod Pros. I also love the Apple integrated magnets into this case, so I can just walk up to a MagSafe charging puck and it will magnetize. So I had one in the car, I have one at my desk here and at home, and it's just super convenient to be able to just attach it. Now I do know that the new AirPod Pros also have it if you get a newer build. Mine does not have that, so it is one additional convenience feature. Now, probably the biggest issue with these, and it's not really an issue, but it's a downside, is the lack of active noise cancellation. Now, over the last month, I've been doing a ton of stuff that requires this, so it hasn't been that big of a deal, but for certain cases where, for example, I'm vacuuming or I'm riding my lawnmower or mowing, that is actually one time where I do want to pull out my AirPods Pro. But other than that, if I'm using them normally, and a lot of times I like using just one earbud inside my ear, these work a lot better for that. And of course, you have the benefit of the better audio quality. So it's kind of up to you how often you are going to use active noise cancellation. It definitely is something that's very nice to have if you're in a lot of noisy environments. That's probably the biggest selling point that you still have to buy one of these AirPod Pros that's been around for a couple of years. Now, if you're somebody that spends a lot of time talking on the phone, for example, phone calls or anything else, the microphones in here are really good. This is the microphone quality with Apple's AirPods Pro in a normal room with some HVAC noise. And this is the microphone quality with Apple's new AirPods 3 in a regular room that has some HVAC noise. They're basically the same identical mics as the AirPods Pros, which are class leading, so people can't even tell that you're using a pair of earbuds. It sounds just like you're actually holding up your phone, so there's not much to say there other than it works really well. So overall, after a month of use, I have found that I really enjoy the AirPods 3. I like the smaller case, I like the better battery life, I like the sound quality of it, the sound signature that sounds more natural. You have more soundstage or distinction also between different instruments. Overall, this is the better product. Now that they actually cut the price down to $150 from the original $180, which was a little bit too high, even though they already dropped it from $200 with the AirPods 2 with the wireless charging case. I think this is a really good buy unless you need active noise cancellation. And for those of you guys out there that do want active noise cancellation, I would just say wait for the AirPods Pro 2 because they're going to get all the same improvements as these, maybe even better sound quality. So personally, I'm very excited for those to come out. And after a month, basically what I found is that these are much better earbuds than what people gave them credit for when they came out. Because not only is it just, a new design and basically the same thing like some people were saying. So thank you guys for watching. Click that circle above to subscribe. Check out one of the great videos right over there. This has been Max, and I will see you in the next video.